The Fisherman How-To Series is brought to you by Penn. Let the battle begin.
Now that the winter's here, it's a great time to get your gear ready for the spring. Got some great Penn reels here and some fabulous Penn products. We'd like to show you what's a real good way just to prep your reels, get the salt off them, a little basic lube, no real in-depth reel repair here, just some basic preventative maintenance. I'm going to start off with a good old-fashioned Penn workhorse. This is the Penn 310 GTI, produced for many, many years. And this reel basically doesn't need a whole lot of service at the end of the season. Best thing we want to do is, in this container here, we have some Penn reel cleaner that we just transfer and we put into it. And again, you just want to spray it down. Shop rag. Let's just wipe off all the excess salt or any other cleaners that you may have had on there. Spin the handle, make sure the handle's okay. And the handle's could use a little lube. We really like the Penn synthetic oil, and this is the blue stuff that's been around for many years. It's extremely inexpensive for what it is. And again, just a little dab of the Penn reel oil in on the handle in that location, and you can see how much nicer the handle is operating. Next thing we want to do on a level wind reel is let's take a little bit of the Penn synthetic oil. So just take the Penn synthetic oil and just a simple drop on the level wind gear, and let's just turn the reel, and that's going to lubricate both the level wind gear and the little mechanism that's housed in here called the pawl, which a lot of times will get stuck. So if you're adventurous, you can take out this little screw that's located here on the top of the level wind mechanism, and inside you'll find a little piece called the pawl mechanism. Just take the pawl out, put another drop of the Penn synthetic oil in it, screw it back on, and that should take care of any corrosion issues or any possible seizing of the level wind. Should the level wind seize, what happens is you break a gear in this side of the reel, and then it's a much larger repair than you may want to do. So again, pretty straightforward. This reel is actually in decent shape. The drag was working fine. There's no reason to go any deeper on it. Next item I want to talk about, let's talk about some spinning reel maintenance. And we are using a brand new Penn Conflict to show you what needs to be done on a reel such as this. And the first thing we want to do is let's take the spool off. And you'll notice that there's some grease on here left over from the season. So the first thing, again, we want to do is let's spray the reel down. Let's get some Penn reel cleaner all inside here, all on the shaft. I like to take a Q-tip, and this is an industrial Q-tip, but you can use just a regular household Q-tip. And let's get in there and let's get whatever kind of grit may be in there. You're going to find that sand wants to build up in there. And let's get all that sand out of there. Let's wipe down the shaft so there's no sand or any kind of grit on the shaft. And then let's just dry all of that reel cleaner out. And now we can do one of two things. We could either just put a drop of the Penn synthetic oil on the shaft, and we'll just rotate the reel. That's going to lube the shaft up really well. And the next thing we can do is, in the reel, Penn has been generous enough on most of the products now where they give you their synthetic grease. And you want to take the synthetic grease and coat it all over the bronze shaft. Then you're going to pick up the spool. Without taking the drag washer out, let's take some of that Penn synthetic grease and just coat it liberally all inside where the drag washer is. And the same goes for the drag adjustment knob. We want to coat that nice with some synthetic grease. As you can see, there's a nice little waterproof washer on there to keep the drag semi-dry. And you're pretty much done with that portion of the spool. Again, let's flip the reel over, spray it up with some Penn reel cleaner, take our Q-tip, get all of that dirt out of there, and you'll notice there's the anti-reverse mechanism on the back side of the spool. And again, we could either hit it with some Penn synthetic reel oil or some Penn synthetic grease, and just grease it up nice so that the anti-reverse mechanism is working perfectly. Once we're done with that, we can put the spool off to the side. Is the handle okay? If the handle's nice and easy, I would keep it going nice and smoothly operating just by putting a dash of the Penn synthetic oil right in between the arm and the handle itself. And even though this is a brand new reel, that oil is amazing. Look at how much faster it's actually spinning. Next thing we like to do is we like to take the handle off on all spinning reels. And again, come in here with a Q-tip. Let's get any kind of grit or sand or any kind of excess salt that might be in there. We like to put a drop of oil in there. And then reassemble the handle. In the shop here, we like to use oil more so than grease, since grease kind of attracts and holds a lot of the grit that causes the reels to prematurely wear out. So again, you may want to use some oil rather than using grease on a lot of the applications. And again, not much we can do on this. Another drop of synthetic reel oil right here on the roller. And again, just wipe it in there, get it going nice and good, and it's operating really nice. And we are done with our pre-season maintenance on this spinner. International reels, obviously larger. Without doing a teardown, you're going to find that most of the corrosion issues on these type of reels occur in the handle. And you can hear that this handle is in some serious need of some lubrication or possibly even a replacement. So once we got the reel nice and cleaned up and there is no salt left on this, first thing I want to do is let's put a little drop of the Penn synthetic oil right here where the handle meets the body. And then once again, we remove the end cap here. We're going to put it inside here. Turn the handle, get the excess oil out. And once again, you can see why we love that Penn synthetic oil in the shop here. This handle is almost new. It's spinning really easy. All of that additional noise that we heard prior is no longer there. So that's a real good start. Next thing we like to do is on the clicker mechanism. It's a great place for salt. It's spring loaded. So it's a great place for salt to get in there. And what we like to do is just kind of get in there with a Q-tip. Get some of that salt out, some of that excess grease out. And again, just a drop of Penn synthetic oil. And you can see the clicker is not working. So this reel obviously needs some additional service. The clicker is not working even after we lubricated it. So this reel is going to require for the reel to come apart and have a more complete service. And again, that's the beauty of this pre-season checklist, this pre-season preventative maintenance. A reel like this, while it looks cosmetically good, internally it has some issues. So now is the time to either take it apart yourself or send it out to an authorized Penn service center where they can perform the correct maintenance on either an international, a spinner, or a simple level wind reel. Now's a great time also to take a look at your fishing rods and make sure that they're also in the correct operating order for the beginning of the season. First thing again, let's clean them up, get some salt off, and again some Penn rod and reel cleaner, and just liberally clean the rod down. I know a lot of you wash your rods with soap and water at the end of the season, but this Penn cleaner really does a nice job and it gets off all the soap residue. So now the rod is nice and clean. Next thing we want to do is just the old Q-tip test. Let's just grab a Q-tip and we're going to start running the Q-tip around the guide. You want to do it in several stages. So for instance, you want to go on the inside of the guide and then you want to go on the face of the guide, both on the back side that would be facing the reel and on the front side that would be facing the tip. And this one's perfect. Move on to the next one. And I feel a little something on this guide. So we're going to come around here on this side. And right there, you can see, if you take a look, you'll see the Q-tip is starting to get chewed up. And you'll notice the guide itself is chipped. So this guide is going to require a replacement. Take it to a reputable tackle shop and they can get this guide replaced for you fairly easily and inexpensively. A guide like this is usually around $20. Once you determine that the guides are all good, another trick we like to do in terms of keeping our rods really looking sharp is we like to use a little pledge. Just regular plain old pledge furniture polish. And all we do is we take a towel or a paper towel, this is an industrial shop towel, spray a little pledge on it, and we're going to give this brand new Penn Battalion a quick little wax job just using something that we all have in our homes, little pledge furniture polish. And you can see it makes the black and the gold on the battalion pop, and the Penn logo really pops out with just a little application of pledge. The other good thing about the pledge is it keeps the scales and the salt from sticking on the rod, so the rod will stay cleaner looking for a longer period of time. And again, there's not much you really can do on a fishing rod. You want to just make sure that you have all of the salt out of your reel seat. And again, the reel cleaner is a great product for that. If you want, you could put a drop of the Penn synthetic oil on it, even though it's a graphite seat. And again, the Q-tip on the guides. Other than that, ready to go fishing.
To receive the latest fishing reports, subscribe to the Fisherman's YouTube page. Click subscribe, then click the settings button and check Send Me Updates. You'll now receive notifications of the latest Fisherman YouTube videos and reports. If you're already a subscriber, make sure you've checked Send Me Updates in the settings so you receive the latest notifications.